on, Carlos.
Come on. Get it. Come on, man. Bring
Come on, Carlos.
Get it.
Go, my boy.
There you go. Yeah. Nice. Come on. Get your track. Nice. There you go. Come on. Come on, man. Get it.
Oh, there you go.
Come on. Finish it up, man. Come on. Nice. Come on.
There we go.
Come on, man. Got it.
Got it.
Come on. Go it.
Number 5 in the state, and was not recognized by his high school as a sophomore. How ridiculous. Shelby West goes to the same high school as Carlos Ojeda and was ranked number 5 in track and was still recognized for her achievement. So why is that? Why is it that Carlos isn't recognized for his achievement, but Shelby is? And the answer is quite simple. Because men's gymnastics isn't recognized. I decided to interview 4 of my teammates and my gymnastics coach to get their opinions about the situation and what they think. What do people normally tell you when you tell them that you're a gymnast?
Well, normally they'll ask me, we have a gymnastics team, or at Round Rock High School they always say, whoa, we have a gymnastics team?
What do people normally tell you when you tell them that you're a gymnast?
Gymnastics exists. Men's gymnastics exists here at this school. Can you do a backflip? You do gymnastics, and I usually get some remark about my sexuality. People like to think that because I'm a gymnast, I'm gay, and so because gymnastics is usually like people link gymnastics with homosexuality usually, whenever in reality it's more just like there's like people that are gay in every single sport that you're gonna find. It just happens to stand out in gymnastics based off presentation.
I honestly could not have said it better myself. So not only do people not know that we have a gymnastics team, but people also think that we are gay because we do it. They say it as an insult. So how does that make you feel when people don't appreciate your sport?
It makes me feel kind of mad because a lot of them can't even do anything in gymnastics, and like they're just kind of like bagging on it, even though half the things they can't do, but they still like to say like how easy it is.
It hurts a little because gymnasts are probably the most complete athletes in the world. I mean, there are 200-pound ripped linebackers who can't hold themselves up on a pair of rings or on P-bars or even hold onto a high bar for a minute. So when people disrespect gymnastics, they're kind of disrespecting the best athletes in the world.
I've kind of learned to just blow it off. I know what I do.
So you get it a lot?
Not that much. I mean, initially, but it works.
Not only are we made fun of by being called gay and wimpy and weak, but we are pissed off. Everyone on this team is so mad that people don't accept us as a high school sport, period. As you watch, please notice how Coach Shea Overman explains his past in gymnastics and how it has changed until now. He believes that this problem can be resolved.
I started gymnastics in 1995, so about 20 years ago, and gymnastics was great in high school. It's amazing to see the difference between club gymnastics and high school gymnastics, because being a part of a team that's supportive and you're just part of something bigger, you're not just competing for yourself, and it's really a great feeling to be part of the school and have pride in something like that. People would always be like, wow, that's really cool, so you must be really strong, or things like that. Occasionally you'd have people that were like, oh, we have gymnastics at Lubbock High School? Weird, I didn't know that.
So no one gave you any hate like they do now to let's say the kids on your gymnastics team?
No, we didn't see that a lot whenever I was in high school, but the city of Lubbock has a pretty strong gymnastics community there, and so there's a lot of people that have done gymnastics when they were younger, even if they're football players or basketball players now. They had done gymnastics when they were younger, and they kind of respected the sport a little bit more, I feel like. The sport's a lot more televised than it was. Unfortunately, with the decrease in the number of college programs, there's been somewhat of a decline in the popularity of college gymnastics, but overall, I would think it's a little bit more popular because you have the rise of tumbling and trampoline as an Olympic sport, and then you have just more televised events happening like the Pan Am Games and the AT&T Cup and things like that. So there's a lot more people know about gymnastics than they did before, but it's still relatively obscure as far as sports go.
It's amazing how much this sport means to people, especially my teammates and my gymnastics coach, considering we put in countless hours in the gym. We deserve to be appreciated.
Gymnastics to me it's a sport that I love doing because it's very satisfying work and it's tough work, and it's about skill level. It's not necessarily about just doing the right thing when you're told to. And I feel like it's a place that I can go to just let all of my stress go away and just focus on whatever routine I'm working.
The only time people actually watch gymnastics is during the Olympics, and that's every 4 years. And apart from the occasional NCAA championship. But comparing that to like people watching high school football or college football all the time, or college basketball or high school basketball all the time, and no one would ever paying attention to high school gymnastics, which feeds into eventually the Olympics. It's only going to get worse from here.
Okay.
Gymnastics for me is building more confidence, I think, because I was never the strong type, I guess you could say. I was always kept to myself, and gymnastics has really opened me up to a team, a group of guys I could really hang out with.
I don't think it will change that much if it's always been a little bit less than girls gymnastics. It deserves a little bit more, but I don't think it'll change. It's a whole part of my life. It is my life. Met good friends here, place in high school basically. I don't know how much bigger it's going to get because based off of just the tryouts that we held over the weekend, only 4 people came, and only one of them was a freshman, and 2 of them were freshmen, and then the other 3 were going to be graduating after next year. So it's kind of like it's kind of uncertain at this point because we don't know who's going to be like coming in later on. And so if the numbers keep getting smaller and smaller, then there might not be a team in the next 5 years. Gymnastics to me is actually kind of like an escape from everything else, because it kind of like relieves me of stress and everything else, and it lets me kind of forget about everything for a while, for the few hours when I'm in practice every day.
It's a career, so I love to coach. I love to be here in this setting. It's really an entry point into the world of sports for a lot of people. You'll see a lot of people that do other sports have done gymnastics in the past, and even if you're not planning on being a gymnast long term, it's got huge implications for balance and strength and core stability and things like that that can transfer over to any other sport. But really, gymnastics I think is one of the greatest sports ever. It combines so many aspects that other sports don't have. Probably uglier than it is right now because Donald will be gone.
Yeah.
No, I think the team is growing and it's growing stronger, and I think part of that is just that we're trying to develop a little bit more of a team culture that has pride in what we're doing here, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more recognition around the school and get some more recognition just among the student body and the administrators and things like that, and really build up a team culture that has a lot of pride in gymnastics, and not just in the gym but outside the gym with the rest of the school too.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Nope.
Anything?
Nothing at all.
You done?
I'm done.
All right, thank you.